All right, let's talk Oklahoma Sooners football. Of course, at this point, we're working our way, all eyes towards the 2024 regular season, seeing what the Sooners are going to do in the SEC. It is a heck of a challenge. It's going to take the entire program to help elevate the Sooners to this new standard. And that's going to rely on some young playmakers really stepping up. And looks like one in particular is about to break out and become a big time performer for Oklahoma. We're talking about, of course, Jaden Gibson. Let's get into this article, courtesy of 24/7 Sports, and then we'll talk about it more in detail on the other side. All right, Jaden Gibson knows he's not a finished product. Oklahoma's junior wide receiver is still a work in progress, but one thing that has become increasingly evident this spring is that progress has taken a sharp upward swing. Gibson has been a constant in the Sooners' offense during spring practices, constantly receiving first-team reps and making plays downfield in drills and scrimmages. He has been arguably the most improved player at one of Oklahoma's deepest positions, and he's not done yet. I'm still not perfect, and I'm still far from where I need to be, Gibson said. I'm nowhere close to where I need to be, but I'm strides farther from where I was. All right, look, it's obviously a great sign that Gibson is getting better and better because it will take all hands on deck to survive the SEC. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this news, but first, Oklahoma fans in the comment section below, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, the NFL draft is right around the corner. So give us your favorite Oklahoma Sooner player who went on to be a first round pick. There is literally a million of them. I mean, you can go down the list. You could go back to like the 1950s, I think, to find a bunch of them. But give us your favorite Oklahoma Sooner who went on to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft and put them in the comment section below. But Miles, give me your thoughts on this news involving Oklahoma's offense and what it means for them going forward.
Yeah, Nick, I think Gibson is a hidden gem. I expect him to explode onto the scene this year. He did pretty good last year, but let's go all the way back to his freshman year. He had one catch for 12 yards his freshman year. Did not really make an impact on this offense. He often said that he felt lost. He didn't really have a place on the offense. Come into season number 2, his sophomore year, that was last season, in Oklahoma had a wide receiver room at the time coming into the season. They really didn't have any, known playmakers at the time. Gibson then jumps onto the scene. He has 14 catches for 375 yards with a staggering 26.8 yards per reception. This guy was a big play machine. He was really, really great last season, and I think that he could be even better this year. It seems like he's been working. One thing he had issues with is there's some key drops that happened as well. He's been working on it. He's been thinking about it constantly. That is something I like to see about a guy. They come into a season, they know what an issue they had was. They always remember it and they do not stop working on it. And I think he is going to keep growing and become one of those burner big play threats that we see come out of Oklahoma every couple of years. I think of a guy like a Hollywood Brown. I think of a guy like CeeDee Lamb. I think of a guy those frame, those size. When Hollywood Brown was at Oklahoma, he was a burner. CeeDee Lamb was another similar sort of player, same size. It was really quick, really could get open and be a great player. I think Gibson coming in to fill that playmaker role at Oklahoma, I think this is going to be a great fit for them, and I'm excited to see what he can do next season.
I agree with you 100%. And I think Gibson can actually give him an extra development in terms of the fact that he's 6'5", right? As great as Lamb and Brown were, their height, well, I mean, Brown was a little shorter, Lamb was about normal, but their height was the one thing in their game, winning those 50-50 jump balls that really was the only thing that prevented those two guys from being even better. And of course, they were ridiculous and have gone on to do very good things in the National Football League. But when I look at a guy like Gibson here stepping up, his ability to beat teams vertically, I really love his speed and his size, that combination, because in the SEC, it's just so brutally competitive. You need to have guys that can generate big plays essentially by themselves, right? You can't rely on just a great scheme. You can't rely on beautiful pass protection. You can't rely on great blocking and a hole breaks open for 40 yards like sometimes you would get in the Big 12. Your quarterback's not going to have a lot of time. Running the ball is going to be hit and miss in a lot of games. You're going to have playmakers on the outside that are just going to be one-on-one coverage, and they can go just beat a five-star corner across from them. LSU playing LSU, Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, all those guys, beating them and winning those 50-50 balls, right? That's what you need to do to win in the SEC. And I think the Sooners have their guy to do it right here in Gibson. And another point I really want to highlight, and this is again a credit to the culture that Venables and company have established in Oklahoma. This is literally the kind of guy that transfers every single time. He didn't play very much as a freshman, a little bit more action as a sophomore, was a four-star recruit out of a different state, the state of Florida, according to 24/7 Sports. So this is a guy that we hear literally at virtually every other program, goes to a kind of career like Gibson, doesn't play a lot freshman year. Okay, transfers out immediately. Doesn't play a whole lot more, has some breakout plays, but isn't the number one guy by a sophomore year. Definitely transfer out immediately. But he's sticking around, right? He's getting better. He's powering through it. He's getting just incrementally becoming a better football player, becoming a more complete player. And I think now he is set to have a massive breakout year when Oklahoma needs him to have that year the most. So not only is it a great sign that Gibson is stepping up into that big role, which I think will help this offense battle through just an onslaught of an SEC schedule, but it also shows that the culture that Venables has established in Oklahoma keeps those guys wanting to stay and keep them working on their craft and committed to each other and committed to the team. That could be one of the superpowers for Oklahoma as they try and handle this transfer, this adjustment, I'll say it like that, into the SEC.